her if you want to.
Okay. I miss everything. I miss Chris Will. I miss power of attorney. I miss everything.
And you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff right now.
I'm sorry.
Take a deep breath.
He just woke up and he wasn't breathing. I went back to bed because I was nightmares. So I went back in our room and I was breathing. I just turned over to cuddle him. His body was just so cold. He'd been gone a while.
So the only information I know from what the medical staff that was here, he was cold to the touch. It seemed like he was down for a while.
So went to bed, he was fine at 9:30. I mean, that's when I went to the bedroom with Ashton. I mean, unless he went, like, I didn't hear anything. He didn't yell. He didn't say anything was wrong. And nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. Oh, my God, this is not real. Nothing happened.
That was the body cam footage that was shown in the final part of day one, where the police officer is speaking to Eric's sister, Katie, as well as Kouri. Now, this is the final part of day one of the poisoned husband murder trial. Kouri is facing murder charges as well as attempted murder and fraud for allegedly taking the life of her husband, Eric, back in March of 2022. Now, she is stating that is not the case, that the family just simply does not want to accept why Eric may have passed, while the state is advising that no, what happened is that she had a business where she would purchase homes, flip homes, and turn around and make a profit. However, she was over $4 million in debt. She had extended herself as much as she possibly could. If she divorced him, she signed a prenup. She was limited on the funds that she would get. But if he passed, she would get at least over $2 million in life insurance, as well as an interest on the businesses and all of that. Now, the person that is testifying now is Clint Benson. He is the husband of Katie. I'm going to tell you guys right now, do I know if she did it or not? Absolutely not. I don't know. I'm still listening to the trial. However, what I do know is that the relationship between Katie, her brother, and her husband is insane to me. You see, Katie acted like this man was everything. He would call her if he got hurt, if his back hurt, he'd call her and ask her what to do. He was a child next to this grown woman, which is his sister, and he's a grown adult with 3 kids. While he's testifying, he talks about the fact that in 2020, he gets a call. So the brother-in-law is present when Katie gets a call from Eric, stating that he found out that she had taken out a $250,000 loan against the house. So he goes over, the brother-in-law pulls up the documents showing that she fraudulently signed these documents where she got this loan against the home. Now, the brother-in-law tells him, what are you going to do? Do you want a divorce attorney? He finds the divorce attorney is the one that communicates with the divorce attorney, all phone calls, all emails, anything the divorce attorney needed. He'd send her all the documents. It was like Eric didn't exist, but he's the one getting the divorce. That was so strange to me. Also, they continue talking about the fact that she was arrested in May. So in May 8th, he was the one that was in charge with securing the home. He went immediately, changed all of the locks, put security cameras inside, outside of the home, and had security there 24 hours a day. The 3 sons were apparently not living in their home anymore. If they needed something, clothes, whatever it was, he would go to the house and get whatever they needed. Now, he goes on to talk about the fact that they, according to him, supported him whether he got a divorce or not, because he ends up not getting a divorce. Apparently, he was the one controlling all of the conversations because he said that Eric was concerned with her being able to check his emails. He didn't want her to know that he was talking to a divorce attorney. Keep in mind, they ended up staying together and getting marriage counseling. He also shares that on the day that everything happened, he ends up going to the house with his 2 daughters because one of his daughters was throwing up. He essentially was the nanny that day because, as you can see, the sister was more concerned with letting the police know. She controlled all the assets. He ran the will. And what was so interesting is that police looked at her and he was like, that's not something we need to worry about right now. We don't need to know that information. Also, he then talks about the fact that the kids actually saw how the dad was wheeled out. She was shaking really bad. That was pretty much on that particular day. He stayed there for a few hours. I believe it was 4 or 5 hours total. The defense then comes up and starts talking about the investigator. They hired an investigator within weeks of him dying. They paid that investigator over $100,000 out of the trust. And she said, just want to make sure the 3 beneficiaries are the children you took out of their trust to pay for this investigator. So the investigator had free reign on the house. He went through all of the closets, all of the clothes, everything, while she was in jail a few months later. Any and everything that they would find, he would turn it over to police. According to the defense, he was the one that built the case against Kouri. He said, no, it's just the investigator. He told us that whatever, he found, he was going to communicate with them. He did. Any little thing that he found that he could turn over, he did that. He, in fact, took Eric's computer and didn't even turn it over, from what I understand, for months to the police, going through all of the information that was on that computer. He then talked about the fact that during the time after he died, what transpired. He said, of course, they went to litigation, which meant that they had to hire additional people to work on the case. She did bring up also the fact that even this last year, the police were still going through the home trying to find evidence even after all of this. Now let's go into the next witness. His name is Deputy Vincent Nugent. He is actually the first officer that was on the scene. That was the body camera that you all saw. And pretty much he was simply called out by the defense because he didn't do much. He just talked to them. They had the body cam footage. He talked to them, trying to find out exactly what happened. The EMT said they thought it was an aneurysm. She talks about the gummies that he was taking. But then the defense comes in, and come to find out, even though he was told about the gummies, he never took them. He never found them, never did anything with them. Even though she told them, hey, we had a drink at 9 o'clock, the cups were still in the sink. Nothing was reviewed, nothing was touched, nothing was investigated. They also found pill bottles next to his bed. Again, they didn't take those pill bottles. Nothing was checked out. And even the defense team even asked that cop, like, is it your job to come in and collect evidence? He was like, well, that is true. And he was like, oh, did you find any TH gummies? Didn't find them. Did you take the prescription bottle? No, not at that time. Did you check the cups? Because she told you guys that they had drinks at 9 o'clock at night. He didn't even investigate the hour, the timeline, none of that. He just wrote down whatever she told him and called it a day, and then turned it over to the agent. Again, do I believe she did it? I don't know. I'm still listening to the trial, and frankly, it's going to be 2 weeks. It's going to be a long trial. However, what I do know is that the police half-assed it, and that relationship between Katie and the husband and the brother, that does not make any sense to me. Talk to you soon.